Hello, 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 hello. Everybody, welcome in, welcome in. It's one of these late night sessions that HQ got up to. So let's get into it, shall we? Well, this is one of those days where you guys see the moniker, you see what's up. The Democrats grow a freaking spine or die as a party. The new deal that they're afraid to run on. But we got to be real. Everybody keeps saying the last election was the most important election of our lifetime. Every single time we hear that. And at some point, people stop hearing that bullshit. Not because they don't care, people don't care, but because it starts to sound like noise. The Democrats got to get a message, okay? And don't get it twisted. Elections matter, everything matters, but what people are feeling right now, we are tired of hearing about this person and that person. Who really did it was the Donald Trump and his whole administration and his drama every day. I get that. This is a problem. Now the Democrats have to get out there and get a message. They got to stop running on, I just want to beat up on Donald Trump. They got to have a message for the people. We keep hearing the same garbage over and over again. We doing it so long, everybody's tired. So let's get into it. We got to be honest about that. Everybody is fatigued. Everybody is tired. People want to afford things. People want to do X, Y, and Z. But I got to say this plainly. We cannot function dealing with Donald Trump. That's not a governing message. It's not. It's not enough to move working people anyway. It's not enough to bring the young people back. That is not enough to make people believe government will actually work for them. This is a new thing, a new strategy we got to have. Americans are pissed off about rigged systems, stagnant wages, medical bills, kids going hungry at school, Congress full of fossils, old folks who don't know what the times have changed, lobbyists who taking all the money and then making people make bad decisions for the American people. The system is rotten from decisions made long ago. Citizens United in 2010, McCutcheon in 2014, minimum wage freezing since 2009, Supreme Court that's being weaponized against the people, and it's partisan hacks on that Supreme Court. People are tired of medical debt, rent that they eat up their whole pay. Man, you got to pay $2,000 every month. I know, and you got a 2-bedroom. I know you sick. People are just tired. Student loans and politicians taking corporate cash. So you need a clear, bold, people first agenda. Not 47 different fucking words and slogans, not focus group bullshit. A real message that connects the dots between today's struggle and the systematic rot. So run on a couple things. So I put this together for the couple things I hope we can run on, actually make it. If you make it 7 or 8 and run on a 7, 8 or however many they want to, there's other ones that we like as Democrats. Getting corporate money out of politics, term limits, expanding and reforming the Supreme Court, universal health care, raising minimum wage, free school lunch, universal pre-K, free debt college, a real immigration pathway, and tax reform. Those are all things that Democrats should be running on right now. These are not radical fantasies, okay? These are proven fixes rooted in American history that would deliver economic dignity and fix the foundation of this country. Here's the full-throated case. Historical context, how to implement it, realistic timeframes, and a massive impact on the United States. This is the roadmap. I'm just saying, I'm just a Democrat, so I want to see it roll like this. So, first one. Here we go. Things that Democrats want, and we want a candidate to run on these things. Okay, let's see. Number one, getting rid of corporate money, get it out of politics. We need that. We need that bad. We need to overturn Citizens United. The historical context: on January 2010, the Supreme Court, Citizens United versus FEC. It was a decision that changed everything by ruling that corporate funding of independent political broadcasts is protected speech under the First Amendment. The court equated money with speech. Then the McCutcheon versus FEC in 2014 struck down the aggregate limits. Dark money hit a record high of $1.9 billion in 2024 in Donald Trump's election cycle. All of that corporate money went towards Donald Trump's campaign. Some to Kamala's campaign. I get it. They did to her campaign. And the reason why people keep saying, well, why did Kamala get so much money? She got so much money because we knew how Donald Trump was. And we knew what the consequences were of electing this president. We kind of knew we were going to be down this road if we elected this president. So that's why Kamala got so much money, because we were trying to fight. We were trying to fight people because we knew we would be down this road. That's why Kamala got so much corporate money, because we knew it. Dark money was $1.9 billion in 2024 election cycle. Pre-2010, they had guardrails for that. After that ruling, corporations and billionaires bought the megaphone, while regular voters, we got sidelined on wages, healthcare, and everything else. We just got through to the side. So how we can implement getting rid of this corporate money and all of this garbage in our politics right now? Pass the Freedom to Vote Act or a constitutional amendment declaring money is not free speech and corporations are not people. In the meantime, small donor matching money, real disclosure of who gives what to when and why. Ban corporate PAC money, places like APAC for federal candidates, stronger ethical rules. So you can't take no trips. They can't give you no trips. You can't go out to dinner. You can't do none of that. So the time frame for something like this, disclosure and public financing, it would take 1 to 2 years with the power to do it. Full amendment in 2 to 4 years if you treat it like a national emergency. Okay, public support is massive. We got big support to get corporate money out of our politics. So it'd be a no-brainer. The impact to something like this is the master key right here. This is one of the most important ones. A government actually accountable to the people, not the lobbyist. This unlocks every other reform. No more donor demands blocking minimum wage or health care. Cleaner democracy, less inequality, okay? Policies that reflect voter will instead of the donor class will. We have to get corporate money out of our politics. Number two is term limits. Expand the Supreme Court. The historical context of that: career politicians and a captured court are the rot of this country. Congress has fossils sitting for decades in Congress, Senate, House, and the Supreme Court, you name it. The Supreme Court size is not a sacred number. It started at 6 under the Judiciary Act of 1789. It hit 10 before and has been since 1869, only by statute. FDR in 1937 threatened expansion, and the court flipped to save the New Deal. Term limits, we can get term limits on the Supreme Court. The founders never imagined a 30-year incumbent on the Supreme Court, okay? How do we implement that? Congress, a constitutional amendment. House, 3 terms, 6 years. Senate, 2 terms, 12 years. Supreme Court, legislation to expand to 13 judges, 1 per federal circuit. We can do that. Add 18-year staggered term limits. Binding ethical rules, recusal process, transparency on gifts. Because these Supreme Court people right now, this 6 or this 9 or whoever, they taking too much corporate money. They taking too much PAC money. They getting vacations, dinners, all that stuff that they ain't supposed to be getting. We need to expand the court so we can get rid of that kind of nonsense. That is a part of the rot of this country. A court expansion and ethics in 1 year, term limits amendment in 2 to 4 years with the public backing them. Impact of that, we will have new blood in Congress all the time. No more I own this seat garbage politics. A balanced court that stops being a super legislative striking down popular laws on voting rights, labor, environment. It restores the balance so people's will is not blocked by corporate money and partisan hat politics. Okay, that's the second thing that we need to straighten out is reform and limits. Number three, universal health care. Okay, the case that kind of messed us up. We're the only wealthy nation on this planet without it. We spend the most per capita, yet we rank dead last on access to healthcare, equity, and outcomes. Medical debt still bankrupts people, okay? So how do we implement universal healthcare? We phase in Medicare expansion. We lower eligibility to 55 years old, then 35, then everybody else. Add dental, vision, negotiate drug prices, public option first. If full single payer votes are not there, it would be public option first. Fund with progressive taxes, replacing premiums. I'm sorry. The only way we're going to make this work is if we raise the taxes. Did anybody ever wonder why? Anybody ever wonder, with all of that cutting that Doge did, that all of these people who got fired, all these programs that got cut, all these grants and these contracts and all this good stuff get cut? Has anybody ever wondered where that damn money went to? Huh? Has anybody wondered what the fuck is going on with that money? Supposedly they saving all this money. Where is it going? That's what I'd like to know. It's going to line their pockets. That's what time it is. Okay. But anyway, that's how we implement it. We public option first. If full single payer votes are not there, fund with progressive tax cuts. Replacement. Our taxes just gonna have to go up. It is what it is. We got to do what we got to do because we are a first-rate country and we live in like third, fourth tier country. Time frame for something like that, we start year one. If we start year one, the full rollout could be here within 4 years, 4 to 8 years. The full rollout in 4 to 8 years. Okay. The impact of us getting universal health care single payer. The impact. No more medical bankruptcies for one. No more staying in dead-end jobs for insurance for two. Smaller businesses can hire freely without worrying about insurance. Families stop GoFundMe and cancer treatments, okay? We save hundreds of billions of dollars every year. That's what we would do. Real freedom, economic freedom. That would be the point of universal health care. Now, number four. Number four should be a no-brainer. Raising the minimum wage to a living wage, okay? The case that brought us to where we are. We are stuck at $7.25 since 2009. FDR's 1938 Fair Labor Standards Act set it at 25 cents to fight the Great Depression poverty. Adjusted for inflation and productivity since the 1960s. It should be well over $20 an hour. This is an insult. $7.25, it's an insult. How can we implement minimum wage, raising of the minimum wage? The Raise the Wage Act. Step it up. $12 across the board. Anybody making less than $12, they instantly start making $12. $15 in 2 years, $17 by 2030, index to median wage growth, in the tipped subminimum wage. That's what we do. Time frame for something like this, we can pass it in 1 year, full phase in at 5 years. That's what we could do. The impact, we would lift millions of people out of poverty. More money in pockets means more local spending, stronger economy from the bottom up, less reliance on food stamps, full-time work finally pays money, a living wage. History proved opponents wrong in the New Deal. Same here. We can do that. Next. And these are things that a Democrat could run on, and everybody would be behind them damn near. Free school lunches, public lunch, free college, universal pre-K, and free day. Here's the case. We already decided K through 12 should be public, right? Harry Truman, 1946, National School Lunch Act, fed kids because it was basic civilization. During COVID, we proved free lunch works. During COVID, if y'all remember, they were giving free lunches. We proved that free lunch worked. Better focus, better health. Now, a high school diploma is not enough, and we expect kids to learn hungry while parents pay thousands of dollars for pre-K. How we can implement free lunch, free school lunch, free college, how we can implement this. Federal grants for universal free breakfast, lunch, expand community eligibility provisions, national universal pre-K, start with tuition-free community college, then expand to public universities for families under income thresholds, tie funding so states don't cut their share, okay? Time frame for something like this, school meals in pre-K in 1 to 2 years, community college, free community college in 1 to 2 years, broader college reform in 4 to 6 years. All of this can be done. They just not running on it. All of it can be done. Here's the impact. Kids learn better. No lunch debt shame. Levels the playing field. Poor kids get the same nutritional and educational start as the rich ones. Less student debt. More nurses, teachers, coders, tradespeople. Workforce development, not a giveaway, reduces the achievement gap for a generation. This is a no-brainer. I don't understand why ain't nobody running on it. The last one, the last thing Democrats can run on is immigration reform. That's the last thing we can. It's not the last thing a Democrat can run on, but it's one of the pillars to the success of our country. Immigration pathway. Some kind of immigration pathway. Democrats need to talk immigration like adults. Talk about immigration like we grown folk up in here. We grown folk up in here. We need to talk about immigration like we grown. Background checks, work authorization, tax compliance, stage a path to status, faster work permits, protect the dreamers, more asylum judges, immigrants already pay hundreds of billions in taxes. We need some kind of reform, tax reform. The rich aren't overtaxed. Shut your ass up. Workers are. Reverse parts of the 2017 corporate cuts. Reverse those corporate cuts that Donald Trump put into place this in the big beautiful bill. Reverse those. Minimum tax on profitable companies. Tax stock buybacks. Close carrier interest. Beef up the IRS on wealthy avoidance. Expand child tax credit and EITC. This is how we can get this paid. This is how we can implement these six things. These are the 6 things that a Democrat can run on. How to implement immigration reform, work permits and court fixes in 1 year, full pathway 5 to 8 years, tax reform via budget in 1 to 2 years. What's the impact of immigration reform? More tax revenue, less exploitation, stable communities, actual border management, funds the rest of the agenda. Fairness, why always money for tax cuts at the top, but never for school lunch? Make it make sense to me. That don't make sense to me. This is the winning message. Healthcare, wages, education, anti-corruption, democracy reform. Vote for us because we're going to fight for healthcare. We're going to raise wages because your child should eat at school, because college should not ruin your life or your bank account, because corporations should not own Congress, because the Supreme Court should not be untouchable, okay? And because billionaires should not get tax breaks while working people get lectures and poor choices. You cannot fix a house with a leaky roof if you don't fix the foundation. Corporate money and lifetime politicians are the foundation of the problem of this country. Healthcare, wages, and education and immigration are the roof that keep people safe. Run on this unapologetically. Democrats need to run on that unapologetically. New Deal style. And you'll fire up that base. You'll fire up more than the base. Okay? You will win independence with that. You will deliver American people. You will deliver for the American people like they actually want. No more excuses, no more vibes, no more consultants. Time to fight with policy, timelines, and receipts, okay? This is how you make government work for ordinary individual people.
Party and establishment has had no message for the past 10 years other than that guy bad, we're not as bad as that guy. The Democratic Party has failed to realize the reason what made Donald Trump so successful in the 2 elections that he won. The reason being his way of getting people behind a message. Whether that message be hateful and just pure, incorrect, and incoherent rhetoric, he still got people behind it because he is able to portray a message at the very least. Because when the policy is, hey, that guy's bad, don't vote for him, it leaves little room for moderate people to understand what your goal is, what your message is, especially for people that are not tuned into politics. I think we saw a heavy use of that in this past election, where podcasters, comedians, whatever the hell, decided to use their influence to sway people who don't know much about politics. Such influencers include Aiden Ross, Logan Paul, Joe Rogan, so on and so forth. There are 3 different messages that they could broadcast out to the American people, which I think will win. Ready? Affordability / working class help, right? Most of this country is working class, and most of this country is living paycheck to paycheck. So this will resonate with a lot of Americans, no matter what side of the aisle they partake in. Straying away from the establishment. We've seen this before, specifically in the Republican Party with Trump, but it has been seen to be successful. Now, does that mean go out and get a celebrity or a famous businessman? No, not at all. But that just means do not pick an establishment Democrat. Such names being Hakeem Jeffries, Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, so on and so forth. And lastly, hammer down on political corruption. I think a big thing that people are tired of is the government acting like the people's eyes are wide shut. Be completely transparent and hammer down on political corruption and punish those who have committed political corruption from past administrations, whether that be Democratic or Republican. But those are the 3 messages that Democrats truly need to push out there if they want to win the
Democrats need to get better at messaging. While I agree with that, voters got to hold a little bit of accountability in this too. Because no matter who Democratic leadership or the DNC tries to prop up, at the end of the day, the voters got to vote. If we really want somebody in there bad enough, we'll get them in there regardless of whatever they say. And there are people, candidates specifically, that have the right messaging that we need to push. We need to do the research. We're the ones that need to prop them up because all of them are opportunists. They're going to follow the votes. We can all agree that these establishment Democrats have to go. So let's vote them out. Primary them, get them out of the way so they don't even have any more say so. Now, as far as the messaging, again, this is on voters. We have to agree on something. In this party, for some reason, the Democratic Party cannot get on one page. The left has to stop with all this infighting. It has to stop. There is no perfect candidate. And yes, we have been put in situations where we had to take what we can get, and we're not out of the woods yet. But when we have the space, time, and opportunity like we do now to find somebody, vet them, prop them up, and actually get their name out there, we need to take that chance, because all Democratic voters are doing right now is waiting for the DNC to prop somebody up and then complain for the next 9 months about how much they don't measure up to what they need to be in order to defeat whoever's in front of them. Democratic voters need to get more aggressive about what they want. That way, Democratic leadership can respond with the right messaging. This is a give and take relationship. We need to give them the orders. They need to take those orders and march.
Democrats are serious about taking back this country from the hands of traitorous, treasonous Donald Trump. Then they need to have better messaging. They need to take back the American flag. They need to take back patriotism. And they need to take back the message of freedom and personal liberty. For far too long, the Republican Party has become synonymous with patriotism and synonymous with the flag. And unrightly so. They haven't earned it. They don't deserve it. In fact, they are always trying to cut freedoms. They are always trying to cut personal liberties from the American citizens. And now's the time for the Democrats to take hold of this message of freedom from one end of the country to the other end. It is the only way that they are ever going to regain any type of power structure within our government. It is the only way that people will begin to take them seriously. They need to take back patriotism because, in all honesty, the Democratic Party are the ones that are fighting for living wages. The Democratic Party are the ones that are fighting for freedom and liberty for the American citizens. They are the ones that are fighting for veterans. And the Republican Party has taken this message hostage, and they were good at marketing it, even though they don't actually believe in liberty and freedom. They don't believe in freedom for the people to love who they want to love. They don't believe in freedom to believe in a God or to not believe in a God. They don't believe in the freedom for a woman to have the right to choose. They don't believe in equality for people, and they don't believe in ending racism across this country. So the Democrats have got to take this message of freedom and personal liberty seriously, and they need to take that message back. They need to become the party of USA. They need to become the party of freedom. It is the only way that they are ever going to win, because the Republican Party has taken hostage liberty.
I say this as a Democrat and a message to our Democratic Party. Don't ask me in the future to join hands with MAGA and sing Kumbaya. These wounds that they've put in the country will never heal in my lifetime. Don't ask me to do it, because I won't.
So the wound is still fresh, but damn, what if we as Democrats actually do need to work on our messaging? It has been said a lot that the left doesn't know how to talk to the right, and a great example of this I think can be seen in the radicalization of Gen Z men toward the right. I haven't fully formed this thought yet. It's in its infancy. Still, me as a Democrat, for years I've heard that Democrats come off as elitist. And of course, I'm inside the room where the call is coming from, so I don't really see it. So why would I think anything is wrong with it? And there's nothing wrong with it. What we are saying sounds sensible to us, but outside of our room and this bubble, it's not landing. A lot of Democrats feel blindsided by Tuesday, and God, I feel blindsided. We thought we had this in the bag. Was the bubble/chamber that we built just affirming and confirming things that we were saying? Did our bubble blind us from what was happening outside our room? And these questions suck to ask, but this time should we step back and probably entertain different ways of speaking to the people who we're trying to reach? Now, I don't have any solutions. I'm just reflecting right now, and I've been in reflection mode for some days. No matter whatever we think, Kamala Harris ran a stunning campaign, one that will go down in history. It was revolutionary. It was a 3 months that swept the nation. It was insane, and she herself was so qualified. She was good, yet we lost. And I'm seeing a lot of, we lost because people hate women. The dark side of me is saying, hell yeah, fuck them bitches, let them burn in hell. Misogynist, racist, phobes, may you know destruction and desolation. Women hating asses. However, the other side of me is saying, is there a way we can reach them from the side? Is there a way that we can Trojan horse our messaging to permeate effectively? This isn't a critique. I'm just reflecting and thinking, damn, what if we do need to work on our messaging?
This is a message to Democrats, not liberals, not progressives, not leftists, Democrats, the ones that may get elected, the ones that may make laws. Grow a fucking spine. This administration has proven that you can do shit even if the rest of the government doesn't cooperate. They've done shit despite Congress telling them no. They've done shit despite the Supreme Court telling them no. Elon came in and defunded a whole bunch of shit and he was never voted for. This is proof that you can just strong arm your way and do shit in this fucking country. And that sucks. And I know that the left isn't about that. But there's a way to play the iterative prisoner's dilemma, which is to say you have to treat your opponent the way they treat you. We know this is a two-party system, and we know statistically that if another party gets into power, it's going to be the Democrat. Democrats, you do not get points for just playing nice with the enemy, because they are, at this point, the enemy. How do we make them not the enemy again? How do we make them fellow Americans? That's up to you. You need to put in safeguards so that shit like this doesn't happen. You need to defund ICE. You need to put more seats on the Supreme Court. You need to take out all the fascists and replace them with reasonable human beings, as opposed to just letting, appointments from the last administration ride. You need to do something. You have been a do-nothing party up against a right-wing, super fascist party for a while now. No empire lasts forever. Fascists will not remain in power forever. That's not how the history works. But when you get in power, you need to shit once the next fascists get in power, things are going to be worse. We used to say Bush was the worst that could possibly happen. And look what happened now. So grow a spine and protect the American people, or just much at fault. for America at these fucking fascists because you stood by and did nothing about it. Next time you're in power, I want some massive, drastic changes that will protect us. Aren't just be implicit.
Wow, that was crazy. That was crazy. But so let me bring this home for y'all. This ain't about Democrats needing better slogans, okay? This is about Democrats needing a reason, a real reason for people to show up. Because people are not asking for perfection. They're not asking for perfection. They're asking for proof. Proof that if they vote, something in their lives is going to change. Something in their lives is going to get better. That healthcare gets cheaper. That wages go up. That their kids can go to school without starting life with debt. That system isn't rigged for the same people. That the system is not rigged for the same people over and over again. That's what's missing. Not the fear, not the urgency. We've had plenty of that. What's missing is a clear promise tied to real outcomes. And here's the truth the Democrats need to face. You cannot keep asking people to vote against something without giving them something meaningful to vote for. Because we're not the other side. It's not a plan. That's a placeholder, right? And placeholders don't inspire turnout. Policy inspires turnout. Results do. Clarity does. So if Democrats want to win going forward from here on out, they better open up their mouth and start speaking. Pick 5 things. That's all y'all got to do. Pick 5 good things. 5. Healthcare, wages, education, corruption in our political process, money, big dark money, democracy reform. Just pick 5 good ones. Immigration reform. Who cares? And say it plainly and say it loud. Every time you get in front of a damn microphone, you love a camera. Every time you get in front of a camera, Democrat, start speaking about 5 good things that you want to run on as a Democrat. And I mean, freaking do it when it needs to be done. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to get it done. This is how you do it. This is what we're going to do. We're going to get universal health care for everybody. We're going to raise the minimum wage for everybody. We're going to get you free college, free lunch for the kids. We're going to figure out a way to make a reasonable pathway for immigration. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And this is how your life changes because of it. No overpromising, no dramatics, no lying, just real measurable changes, okay? Because the voters are not confused, not no damn more. They waking the hell up. They're not uninformed. They're not apathetic. They're waiting for something to believe in, waiting for some life raft, waiting for somebody to talk to them like they grown ass adults and offer them something real, something positive. And the party that does that, that's the party that's going to win in 2028. Now, y'all need to get started, Democrats, because I know y'all can do better. Do better right now. Start doing better right now. If you guys like the video, please comment in the comment section. And please like, share, subscribe if you like my video. And I'll see you in the next video.